Noam Chomsky is wrong about JFK's death. Oswald was either a CIA agent or he had a double in the CIA. According to Mark Lane, he had a double. Watch the film Executive Action. Read the book Plausible Denial and Rush to Judgment. Noam Chomsky can be right about a lot of things, but he's wrong about JFK's assassination. Allen Dulles was a traitor to the American people and to humanity when he hired 4,000 Nazis and Hitler's master spy, General Reinhard Gehlen, to work for the CIA in 1947. These 4,000 Nazis were smuggled into Fort Hunt, Virginia, probably on U-boats where 50 Nazis per boat could come in. It would have taken only 80 boats to bring in 4,000. 50 top Nazi officers were smuggled into Argentina on a U-boat. Truman did not want a domestic Gestapo here spying and prying into our private lives. In 1947, he signed the bill to create the CIA. Specifically said no one with a Nazi background or affiliation should be hired. Dulles hired Hitler's master spy against the Soviets, Reinhard Gehlen, the most dangerous man in Europe, the man without a face, the man who interrogated, starved, tortured, and shot 4 million Russian POWs to work for us. And Gehlen lied his pants off, saying the Soviets had 175 divisions battle ready to take over Europe, bomb the US and UK. Never happened. Some of these Nazis were SS and Gestapo wanted in Russia for their involvement in the Holocaust. They should have been turned over to the Russians and tried at Nuremberg, where they would have been hung. Richard Milhausen Nixon was a Nazi lover, and as a young naval lieutenant lawyer, he changed the identity of Nazi banker Karl Blessing, who worked for a Reichstag bank under one of Hitler's appointees. Gehlen ran our NATO intelligence in West Berlin. Nixon used ethnic Nazi groups to campaign for Dewey in 1948, and for himself and Ike in 1952 as head of immigration. As vice president, he led NSS to get jobs in the CIA and the Army, where they were going to be used to mop up after a nuclear war, in case of a nuclear war, which they would start. Nazis in the secret state police in Germany were used to train state police in New York and New Jersey. This is documented. You can find it. It's out there. Prisoners reported guards giving Nazi salutes in prison, saying they were on the wrong side in the war, that they should have been working for Germany, and racially profiling citizens to put them in prisons, especially Hispanics and blacks. CIA accused Eisenhower of not spending enough on military. Ike said we didn't need a large military budget in peacetime. Tell that to Ronald Reagan, who put the biggest military buildup in peacetime in world history on us and put us in debt, $4 trillion. Truman was accused of being soft on communism. He said, I'll show you how soft on communism I am. I'll invade Korea. They said he lost China because it became communist in 1949. Nixon used captured Nazi documents to accuse members of Truman's administration of being communist. Army intelligence that disagreed with General Gehlen's lies about the super military strength of the USSR were accused of being communist. There was even a time when Werner von Braun, who built the V-2 rockets for Nazi Germany, was accused of being a communist when he said he'd rather be working on spaceships. Anyone who didn't agree with Hitler was called a communist. Fanatical Nazis were sent to Europe and the Soviet Union to kill democratically elected leaders, to create a famine inside the USSR, to starve 40 million Soviets to death. This was Hitler's plan. When he was losing the war, he wanted to keep fighting. This was the Cold War, folks. This was the dirty, lousy Cold War that we wasted all of our resources on because of these Nazi lies. Ike had said that not to talk to the Nazis, and Dulles and Nixon hired them. When Kennedy fired Dulles in 1961 after the Bay of Pigs, he was angry at the CIA. They lied to him about Cuba. They told him he could win down there. He didn't win. Led to the Cuban Missile Crisis when he signed an executive order to pull CIA out of Vietnam in '63 and pull out of Vietnam. CIA hired 3 ex-Marine snipers to shoot him in Dallas. The rest is history. LBJ reversed his policy of pulling out and escalated the war, and then Nixon lied, said he had a plan to get us out. He escalated the war, and we lost 43,000 more troops after Nixon got in.